And outside groups are setting new midterm spending records as races across the country come down to the wire. In Oregon, billionaire Nike co-founder Phil Knight is pouring millions of dollars into two opposing candidates, one Republican, the other independent, all in an effort to do whatever it takes to keep the lone Democrat candidate out of the governor's seat. NewsNation's Brooke Schaefer has been looking into how much money has been spent so far in this year's midterms, Brooke.
Yeah, Nichole, record amounts of money are being poured into these campaigns. Already more than $1 billion spent by outside groups so far. And again, we are still several weeks until the midterms. Some of the races seeing the most money are the races with the most on the line. With now roughly 3 weeks until Election Day, this midterm season is expensive. Campaigns and outside groups have already spent more than $1 billion.
In terms of the midterms, the money being spent just continues to go up.
Taylor Giorno is the money and politics reporter for the publication Open Secrets, which tracks money in U.S. politics. She said her team is already seeing over $1.4 billion spent by outside groups. And in the next 20 or so days, it could exceed $2.2 billion.
What does that tell you about this midterm season?
It tells you that there's a lot at stake.
She said money from outside groups is pouring in the battle for Congress and key Senate races across the U.S., like in Pennsylvania and the race between Dr. Mehmet Oz and John Fetterman, and in Georgia, where the contentious fight between Senator Raphael Warnock and Herschel Walker took center stage in a NewsNation exclusive debate Friday.
I work for the people of Georgia.
Well, he's in Washington.
Can I finish? I work for the people of Georgia.
Yeah, but you're in Washington.
And that's why I stand up for them every single day.
And you're the leader.
And it's not just outside groups. Big campaigns are raising big money. Also in Georgia, Republican Governor Brian Kemp and Democratic challenger Stacey Abrams have raised more than $145 million combined. And the Texas governor's race has topped more than $100 million.
Is it a coincidence that the most watched races also turn out to be some of the most expensive races?
It's absolutely not a coincidence that those turn out to be the most expensive races, because those are the races that are likely going to determine control of Congress for the next 2 years.
And some of these donations are coming from people like you at home, but a lot of the donations are coming from some big names. You just mentioned, Nichole, the co-founder of Nike, the co-owner rather, donating millions of dollars to campaigns himself. And then this money is turned into mailers and political ads, anything to get the word out, when really, as we have been saying, the stakes for some of these campaigns could not be higher. Nichole?
Yeah, that is absolutely true, Brooke. Okay, thank you. Here now is House reporter with our partners at The Hill, Michael Schnell. Michael, thanks for being with us. Let's start with that Oregon governor's race. There's been a Democrat in office there for 40 years, but now there's this huge cash infusion. So what are the odds that Oregon, in fact, flips red?
Nichole, it's kind of crazy that we're talking about the possibility of Oregon flipping red for those reasons that you mentioned. It has not had a Republican governor since 1987, and every year since 1984, it has voted for a Democrat for president. But as you mentioned, this race is close. 538's projection currently has Joe O'Dea favored by just a little bit, but this Oregon race is really becoming really tight in the final stretch, as we see. And one of the things that we have seen recently is Joe O'Dea say that he doesn't want former President Trump to run again, and that we'll see how that has a significant impact on the race.
Yeah, Michael, I actually want to talk to you about that in a moment. But first, we typically hear about third-party candidates taking votes from the big party candidate. But Phil Knight, the co-founder of Nike, is basically betting on the exact opposite, that one of these two candidates he's backing will beat the Democrat.
Well, I was jumping ahead before to a different race, but of course the Oregon race, that's where we have Tina Kotek, the Democrat, who's running against Christine Drazan, the Republican, and like you mentioned, we have Betsy Johnson, the Independent here. Phil Knight is sort of putting his money where his mouth is, so to say, instead of, like you mentioned, sometimes propping up third-party candidates to shave off support from other candidates. He's actually putting his money in places to sort of stop that one candidate who he doesn't want to win. So he has said that he wants to do anything but put Tina Kotek back into the governor's mansion, and he has given money to Betsy Johnson, who is the independent, in addition to Christine Drazan, the Republican. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. An interesting note: the top donor in both the Drazan campaign and in the Johnson campaign is Phil Knight.
Yeah, exactly, and he's given a lot of money. So let's go back to Colorado. You mentioned that another very close race. We have the incumbent Democratic Senator Michael Bennet. He is neck and neck with the Republican Joe O'Dea. As you said, O'Dea says he will campaign against Trump if he runs in 2024. So the former president, is blasting O'Dea. No big surprise there. He's calling him stupid. So will this move from O'Dea crush his campaign, or could it possibly help it, because Colorado does tend to be blue?
So there's plenty of time here, I want to note, left in this race. Tomorrow will mark 3 weeks until Election Day, and in politics, that's an eternity. But it's also worth noting that O'Dea has made similar comments in the past. Over the summer, he said that he doesn't want former President Trump to be president come 2024. An interesting note this time around, though, with this criticism of the former president, is that he's actually naming other Republicans who he would want to see win. He mentioned Nikki Haley. He mentioned Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, Tim Scott, a Republican senator from South Carolina. So it's not that he's just staking his opposition to Trump, but he's also mentioning other Republicans he would want to see. It's also worth mentioning Colorado has trended Democrat in recent years. It has chosen a Democrat to be president since 2008. And O'Dea, throughout the campaign, has tried to make himself look like a moderate. So while there is plenty of time until we see how this race shakes out, it is possible that these comments could make a difference, although it's really nothing different than what we've seen in the past.
Yeah, we'll see if the strategy ends up working. Okay, Michael, thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.